Good morning, beautiful people. It is Tuesday, December 17th, 2019, coming to you live from a snow globe in Indianapolis, Indiana! It's great to be back in beautiful Indiana. Got a chance to be in New York yesterday for an Overreaction Monday. Stirred the pot a little bit. Pissed off all of Ohio State whenever I talked about Urban Meyer being a bum. He took a shot at me first. That's on him, not on me. I think we're going to have a conversation in the next couple of days, by the way. Bygones might be bygones, but I'll never forget. Josh Gordon has been suspended indefinitely. We'll talk about that. The Colts got buzzsawed last night by the Drew Brees and New Orleans Saints. Sean Payton. I think the conspiracy theory Diggs is going to be back today. Can't wait to hear that. Just seemed a little bit too easy for Drew Brees last night. That's neither here nor there. We'll talk to you on the phones, 1-833-622-3331. Be a part of the show. We also have Kenny Clark, D-tackle for the Green Bay Packers, and potentially Pierre Desir, Walter Payton Man of the Year for the Indianapolis Colts, coming into the studio possibly. He's booked before what happened last night. I am not banking on him coming in because if I was him, I would say, not for me today, dog. Now is not the time. We're going to have a good one here on this Tuesday. Evan Foxy, play some Chase Rice.
It's the perfect occasion for little vacation from the heart of the nation. Not your medication, 2 hours of magic. Let's give it a go. Ladies and gents, it's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
Yes, it is Chase Rice joining us on the chatting couch at Boston Connor. How you doing, Connor?
I'm doing fantastic, Pat. How are you?
I'm great. All kleptomaniacs live good because they take stuff from other people. Nick Morato's on the ones and twos. Tone Diggs, Ty Schmidt, Jason McAfee, Zito, Evan Foxy, and Todd McCombs is on the phones, 1-833-622-3331. We want to hear your takes and opinions and all that stuff. I'd like to chit-chat about that Monday Night Football game relatively quickly. Hey, congratulations to the Colts, by the way, covering a plus 51 spread.
Let's go!
Yeah. Hey, was looking a little dicey there. The Spread the Love campaign that we did with FanDuel yesterday for the people of Indiana. The spread started at plus 8.5. I think it ended, by the way, for everybody else at plus 9.5. By the way, congrats to everybody that just hammered the Saints on that one. But here in Indiana, for every 250 people on FanDuel that bet the Spread the Love campaign, we gained a point in the spread. Started at plus 8.5, ended at plus 51. So if you do the math, Diggs, FanDuel in Indiana lost.
It could have been upwards of $500,000.
Just in Indiana. So, hey, big thanks to the Colts for putting a Band-Aid on the thing while it was bleeding out in the fourth quarter. It was 34-0 going into that fourth quarter, and I thought plus 51 was not going to be enough. Honestly, they had Drew Brees still in the game. I was very confused by that. Why not let Teddy B get in there and have a good time? That New Orleans Saints team had to answer. Last week, they lost a miserable one to the 49ers. Everybody was talking about the 49ers being the best team, Seattle Seahawks being the best team. The Green Bay Packers are still winning. And then you have the chatter about how the Saints are still going to be the Saints. We talked to Schlereth yesterday. He was like, hey, down in New Orleans, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, they've had miserable, absolutely miserable exits from the playoffs the last 2 years. Excited to see how they responded last night, and they did. I mean, that defense, Demario Davis is a stud, by the way. I don't know how he doesn't get talked about more. I'd assume because the offense draws so much higher, he is a freak show of an athlete. Cameron Jordan also good. But that offense in Michael Thomas. Now, I know Michael Thomas doesn't run a 4-3 like Tyreek Hill, okay? Booger McFarland told me that last night just a few times. But he seems like the all-terrain wide receiver. He runs every single route. He goes over the middle. He can go deep. He's always open. Sean Payton is a mastermind of drawing up these plays to make him look good. And Drew Brees said that one incompletion last night will haunt him. He was almost a perfect game on the night that he broke Peyton Manning's touchdown record, which is going to be broke by Tom Brady and then broke back by Drew Brees and all that stuff. I just think what we saw last night was like Bob Ross painting. It was a master of craft, and the Colts had, they stunk. I mean, they got beat in all phases, but that Saints team is heating up, and they've been hot, and I'm excited to watch Drew Brees and Sean Payton hopefully bury the casket and close the door on all the terrible exits from the playoffs. That team was fun to watch last night.
Yeah, Drew said all he had to do was set his feet and make one little throw to running back, and he would have been a perfect 30 for 30 on the night.
Did you see that Reggie Bush video of him doing in the practice facility at the Saints practice facility where he was just like basically on visualization on everything, even like the check. He was making checks when there was nobody out there. So, I mean, a little schizophrenic kind of, but he was making checks and like going through the entire game in his head. Like, that's the type of stuff I like seeing. Like, that is why Drew Brees is great. That is what makes Drew Brees tick. He's, 30 years into this thing, 40 years into this thing, and every single thing he does is routine. He licks his fingers a lot. That's like his go-to. He stretches a lot, and everything he does seems to be perfect. If I just plant my feet a little bit better, I could do that. This is the same. Now, a lot of people are going to talk about the Colts quitting and stuff like that. This is the same Saints team that hung 46 or whatever on the San Francisco 49er defense last week. Sean Payton, Drew, and them are getting hot. And what? We got 2 weeks left, and that is not a team I would want to see. And I think the NFC is going to be awesome to watch. I mean, right now how the standings are, Seahawks are number 1, Packers, Saints, and then the NFC East. By the way, congrats to the Cowboys winning.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I was on a plane last night after we crowned the Cowboys the NFC East champs on the show yesterday. I wore a bolo tie because I was all in on the Cowboys. This feels like a game that the Eagles are going to win. The more and more I thought about it, I was like, this feels like a game that the Eagles are going to win. On my bolo yesterday was an Eagle, so I was kind of playing both sides of the fence. No big deal. But the underdog mentality, they're underdogs at home in a championship game. Philadelphia fans are going to be wild. Can the Cowboys put 2 consecutive good games together? I'm just not 100% sure. Who cares? They're going to get steamrolled. And then the 49ers and the Vikings. And the Vikings-Packers play, Monday night?
Yep.
That's another massive game. I mean, the NFC is awesome right now, as is the AFC. I think there's a little less question marks in the AFC, except for maybe the playoff spot. The Bills could potentially beat the Patriots, which would be fun to kind of see. I mean, that'd be good for the Bills Mafia. The Patriots just come off a dominant win, but everybody still has questions about them. We'll learn a lot about them with that Bills defense, because that Bills defense is
For real.
real. I mean, Josh Allen might give them the ball a couple times, the Patriots offense. Will they be able to do anything with it, though, against that Bills defense? I'm not 100% sure. But in the NFC, man, it is going to be fun to watch in the NFC in the playoffs. And I think Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are unlike anything anybody's seen, but that NFC playoff race is going to be fun to watch.
After last night, you just have to, anyone who's a fan of a team in the NFC, you just have to hope that the Saints aren't going to get the 1 seed. Because notwithstanding last week against the Niners, if it goes through New Orleans, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Bro, what are they, 7-1 or something down there? I mean, you got 60, 70,000 adults wearing costumes, ready to lose their mind for 4 quarters, and if it goes to overtime, they're even more ready. That place is a zoo down there. I mean, it is. I was a part of a game down there, 62-7. Okay, we lost. Now, obviously, last night, 34-7. I mean, that place is tough to play. The Niners got to win down there. Not normal. Niners faithful does travel, but that place is going to be very, very tough for anybody to win it. But this home field advantage in the NFC is massive.
Huge.
Massive.
Seattle, massive home field advantage. Green Bay, Lambeau Field, massive home field advantage. New Orleans, massive home field advantage. I mean, anywhere it goes, it is going to be a big deal. And in the AFC, everybody knows you got to go through Baltimore, which is not an easy place to play either. That structure of the playoffs, having the home field advantage, I love it, by the way. I think it makes the regular season even more, and it makes the teams that are very good have to still compete for something at the end of the season. But this particular year, it feels as if the home field advantage is going to mean even more than it already means so much.
Yeah, because if the Saints have to go to Lambeau, I mean, there's the historic record of dome teams going to play outside and it's under 30 degrees and it just doesn't end well.
Which is interesting, isn't it? Because I'm sure Aaron Rodgers would like to play in the warm too. You know, like Aaron Rodgers is better in the warm as well. But there's just something about having that comfort level for it. And I guess you can make it windy down in New Orleans during practice week, but it's hard to, just like whenever you see Lamar Jackson in real life for the first time, it's a lot different than it was on film. It's hard to account for 15-degree weather and how your hands are going to figure it out, how the ball's going to react, how the blocking is going to feel, how your D-line's going to feel, that wide receivers. I mean, it's just hard to account for that. You can't prepare for a snow globe, and that's probably what's going to happen in Lambeau if you have to go there. But there's a lot that can happen in these last 2 weeks to figure out where we're going to have to go through on the NFC side. It can also go through Seattle, and that place is notoriously a nightmare, let alone the travel to get all the way up there and have to go. I mean, there's a lot to it right now. There's a lot on the line in the NFC side of this.
If the Bills beat the Patriots this weekend and the Chiefs went out, like, is this when was the last time the Patriots didn't have a bye? Did not have a first round bye.
Long time.
Yeah. I mean, Tom had those 4 games off. What was that, last year? He kind of got rested, and then they had to bye, so he had 5 games off throughout the entire season, which I think kept him healthy and kept him fresh. This year, with how it seems like this has been a real tough task on Tom Brady this year.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like mentally Tom Brady's a lot more beat up than he has been in the past. Those press conferences say a lot after games. Except for this one against the Bengals, he's been miserable up there. Just like, we're playing the next game, man. Yeah, we're 10-3 right now. We're playing the next game. Are you tired? Or you look tired? We're all tired. We just played football. It's like, no, Tom, this is a different Tom Brady right now. And I think for that reason and that reason alone, if they get going, they're going to be tough to stop because Tom has been so miserable. So a little bit of happiness will bring that guy back to life. I said yesterday on Get Up, I was like, it feels like there's a chance that the dynasty could be ending this year, just strictly because their offense has not looked like it has looked in the past. And that's obviously because Gronk isn't there and they don't have a big-time weapon other than Julian Edelman and things like that. But that defense is better than any defense they've ever had. So who says that defense doesn't win championships and then they're not just going to go on another incredible run? Because in playoffs, it's just a one-game season. All you have to do is just account for one game, one team. If they don't have the bye week, maybe that gives Belichick another week to try to figure it out on the offensive side. Like they'll be able to use it in however they want to use it, let alone all the filming they've been doing. I mean, you don't have a bye week, you get a chance to you get to film more stuff.
Yeah, and already seen the Chiefs, already seen Lamar Jackson. You got to think if anyone's going to figure it out, it's going to be Belichick.
Yeah, because he has like NFL film as opposed to their own film.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the more film, the merrier.
That I love listening to people on the internet talk about that film on the sideline there.
Oh, it's tough.
Bro, I love it. Well, it's just like me having to listen to Ohio State people. Right now. I got so many people like, who are you? You wish you were half as successful as Urban Meyer. I'm like, I'll resume check against Urban Meyer right now. I am completely okay with that. But it is something where when you're the Patriots, Teddy Bruschi even said it.
Yeah.
Teddy Bruschi went on a long run. He's like, well, everybody says we're cheaters because we win all the time. And he says we because he's still a part of the whole thing up there. He's like, hey, we win all the time, so everybody says we're cheaters. And he just can't believe that they let this happen because it just feeds the narrative that the Patriots are cheaters. It just feeds the narrative. And if you're outside of New England, you can't help but be like, you got to take the bait. Be like, yeah, this is why they win. This is 100% why they win. And I've talked to different people at different levels of the NFL, at different positions, and everybody has kind of agreed, like, yeah, I can't really get much from that. But if you can just get a little bit of an advantage, though, in the NFL, that really helps you. That's kind of everybody's thing. It's like, yeah, I can't really get much. But if they did have something that would help them just a little bit, maybe a little bit faster, an adjustment to something a little bit quicker that could help them. But for me, I don't think you're getting much out of that. The only thing that's coming out of that is an even worse look for the Patriots that have been tagged as cheaters since the beginning of time anyways.
Yeah, I mean, Teddy said it perfectly. We are just disappointed, It's going to happen. And, we're going forward now.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Videotaping's gonna
That's
happen.
not gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That's the problem. Is it doesn't happen with everybody else. Now, is that because their content creation game isn't as good as the craft productions?
Yep.
Possibly. But isn't this one that you think that somebody up there should have thought, all right, maybe we don't do an advanced scout that needs B-roll of filming people giving signs because, boy, we've already got caught doing this. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this whole thing is that there is a crack in the genius that is the Patriot way because normally this type of thing would not – you wouldn't let a couple amateurs who panic under pressure, which that Patriots videographer did, just go out there and start willy-nilly doing their thing. I think that's my biggest takeaway is that, you know what, the Patriots even make mistakes too. Yeah, they've been caught in the past doing some interesting things, and we've never seen the footage of it, so we have no idea what they were actually filming. I mean, that'll one up a blaze. But for me, the Patriots making an amateur mistake like this for the optics is my biggest takeaway. It's like, oh, they poop sitting down too, the Patriots. This is something like the Browns would do.
Yes.
Like, this is something that an amateur franchise would do as opposed to the greatest one. And by the way, the Browns did not deserve that. Well, I think a lot of Ohio people have been coming after me, so I think that is why I'm starting.
Let's keep it going.
No, easy.
Everyone wants it off that team.
Yeah, but is there more rumors coming up?
Yeah.
What happened?
Everyone's
Landry.
screaming.
Apparently, they were yelling from their sideline at the Cardinals sideline, like, "Get me out of here!"
And the Cardinals,
We know somebody pretty close at the Cardinals that could tell us if they were just screaming, "Get me out of here." Is that right? So while the game's going on, it's like, Red Rover,
Yeah.
send me over there.
So they were like Happy Gilmore, the grandma.
Is that real?
That jumped in the car.
That was a report.
Me out of here.
I mean, the report came from not the greatest reporter of all time, but it's out there.
Who?
Last name opposite of gold.
Rose.
Silver? Oh, no. We hate that guy. What's his name?
Mike Silver.
What did he say?
He said that it was just reported again that many players heard Jarvis Landry come over to the Cardinals sideline and say, "Hey, get me out."
Are they doing that on purpose now just for content? There's no way after that Odell Beckham thing comes out that they're dapping up players saying, get me out of here, that Jarvis Landry is like, I'll go start.
Well, him and
Did
Freddie
you
got
see
into
him
it
on
on
the sidelines?
No, I heard he and Freddie were getting into it. But I heard him after the game say, hey, this type of thing does happen, which does happen, by the way.
Yeah,
In the
yeah, it
NFL,
does.
a lot more than in college or in high school. Because I said this yesterday about Urban Meyer potentially going into the NFL with Rex Ryan. When you're in the NFL, you're like, I don't want to say a coworker with your coach, but you are. You're in it together as opposed to him bossing you around. You're in it together. And that's because you got a grown men playing in the NFL. You got people who've been around football a long time. You got people getting paid a lot of money. So there are times where there's a lot more disagreements. I mean, I got into disagreements with my coach, not on the sideline publicly. Couldn't do that. I mean, I'm far too low on the totem pole to do that. But at practice or in meetings where I say, well, I don't think that's right. In college, you can't do that because bang, get the hell out of here. You're not playing. We'll pull your scholarship. But in the NFL, it's a lot more like, hey, we're in this thing together. So there are disagreements that happen. And I think they get blown out of proportion, especially when you're in a situation where it sounds like everything's gone to hell in a handbasket, like in Cleveland. But I think Landry came out afterward and said, like, hey, these types of things happen. Freddie said these types of things happen. And that's accurate, by the way. And everything's going to be magnified whenever a terrible coach happens to, like Freddie Kitchens. But boy, I love if Jarvis Landry's just running down the sideline of the opposing team during the game. Yo, get me the hell out of here. Hey, I will renegotiate my contract. Get me the hell out of here. And Odell Beckham's dapping up people. What up, dog? How's it going, man? Life good? Give me the out of here. All right, I'll see you. That's a sinking ship already. It's a sinking ship already. All that promise going into the season, all that hope. Everything's going to be good. We got all these players. We got superstars. We're going to get the Bud Light drinking out of the locked case earlier this year. We're going to make a run in the AFC North. We are going to be the favorite in the AFC. I bought into the hype. Whenever you have Odell Beckham Jr. on the team, and whenever you have Jarvis Landry on the team, and when you have a quarterback that looked damn good last year on the team, and you're thinking he's going to grow and get better in the offseason, and you have all these Chubb, the running back was great, and Kareem Hunt was coming off a suspension, and the defense has a guy that plays whack-a-mole who's just a physical freak, and you got all these weapons on the team. And as somebody who's been in there, you're like, you know what? If all these guys can buy in, this is going to be a good team. And I thought Odell Beckham might have been the problem personality-wise going in there, but his best friend, Jarvis Landry, was in there. They'll want to go to war together. They'll be in it together, so he'll be able to keep it on. And all it has been is the most undisciplined football team in the history of documented football, and it has just been an absolute bummer for the dog pound, a bummer for the NFL fan base. And if everybody's bailing, everybody's leaving, you know what it is, Diggs?
Same old brownies.
It really is. Are they ever going to be good? You get good players, you can't be good. You get good players, they want to leave. You get all this stuff. Are they ever going to be good? Sounds like probably not.
Do you think, given all these reports coming out, that they're going to blow it up after this season, or do you think that they're of the mindset, hey, if we get rid of Freddie Kitchens, we can try it again next year with maybe a guy who's not just an absolute buffoon?
I just don't. He is. He does. By the way, it does feel as if Freddie Kitchens is a master buffoon.
Yeah.
Like maybe corporal buffoon.
Yeah, likes we've never seen before.
Admiral. What? Hey, Todd. What is it? What's the top? Admiral.
Yeah, general or admiral if you're in the Navy, general, Army.
So he's Admiral Buffoon. Yeah, it seems like he is. It seems like he is top buffoon. And when I watched that Stone Cold Steve Austin show with Baker Mayfield, it was on USA Network, and Freddie Kitchens came out, and you know Stone Cold was trying to crack a joke with Freddie, and it was kind of like an awkward conversation. I was like, oh, that's a lot different than I thought Freddie Kitchens was going to be. Oh, maybe he's just a football guy. Maybe he's just strictly a football guy. And then you watch him, he's like, oh, he's not a football guy. No. This guy's got no clue what he's doing. No clue what he's doing. Is Baker Mayfield the problem?
I don't know. Nick Chubb's leading the league in rushing, so the rushing game's not the problem.
He's in the bottom 5 of like all the major statistical categories for an everyday starter in the NFL.
Best actor in the NFL right now. Though.
That is true.
Great commercials.
Great commercial.
How many commercials do you think they actually filmed that day?
20. And we've been on a couple of these shoots now. That had to be a 4-day process of shooting all those
100%.
things. You know what he could have been doing? Playing catch. That's what he could have been. One of my favorite lines of all time came from Pat Anger. And we had a quarterback that wasn't doing great. And it was like halfway through the year or something like that. And we were not doing well. It was the year we were very bad. And, I don't know how to say this without burying anybody. So we're talking about the morale of the team. We're at lunch or whatever. and a guy sits down and he goes, hey, I went and played golf with insert name of quarterback here the other day, and his morale seems like he's coming around. Maybe this week will be good. And pet angers, you want to play golf with him? He goes, yeah. He goes, why didn't you just play catch with him? Why did you just play catch with him? Like maybe teach him how to throw a completion or something like that. And I just started like crying, laughing. It was one of the hardest laughs I've ever had in my life. And I started thinking to myself, like, that's how people think though. If you're in the NFL and you have an opportunity to do something and you have a chance to be great, why waste your time doing anything else, right? That was the problem with, like, whenever it came out that Andrew Luck was like snowboard or whatever. It's like, why are you wasting your time doing that when you have a chance to be great? And it's because these guys got to live a life, right? They got to live their own life because you have to get away from it or you'll get worn out with the process and everything. But man, as soon as you aren't as good as people think you're going to be, you're giving people a lot of reasons for why you're not doing good. And whenever you do commercials and things like that, although I'm 100% okay with them, go get your money, do your thing. You got to get away from football. What do you want to do? Just throw footballs forever and ever? All you're doing is just giving people excuses and reasons to bury you. And it's like, man, you just got to hope you do well next year. But Baker Mayfield, good actor.
Yeah, I'm
actor.
not going to blame him on the commercials. You know how else? Peyton Manning did commercials. Patrick Mahomes is in a lot of commercials right now.
Peyton Manning also
pretty good.
Praise of all time.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't affect.
Well, that's the thing though. It's like it's every situations are situational. It's like if you do good, all that stuff's okay. If you do bad though, all that stuff gets brought back right in your face. Like I remember a lot of people on television early whenever Baker was struggling, they're like, who didn't do commercials? Dak Prescott. It was like, look how Dak's doing. And then Dak went into a slump, and then those people kind of like, oh, you know who didn't do commercials? You know who didn't do commercials? And they start naming off somebody else that's good. It's just all those things are just fodder for conversation if you don't do well. And I assume everybody in Cleveland's disappointed, but boy, the fact that everybody's trying to get out of town is awesome. Dorsey holds the keys, though. If you don't want to trade you, get rid of you. What are you going to do? Sit out? Ain't nothing else you can possibly do. Ain't nothing else you could do. Music. Ooh. Is this a Jason McAfee beat?
This is a Snow J beat.
Ooh. Don't give him a name yet.
Okay.
Is it Snow J? Yeah. Well, it is a snow day today.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to think he just does massive amounts of cocaine.
They just have to meet him one time, though.
Huh?
They just have to meet him one time to know that he does not.
Oh, this guy is the opposite of cocaine. Snow J. Imagine his concerts. Come to Snow J, where all the cocaine can be had. Hiring the right person takes time. Time that you often don't have. Urgency can be your enemy when it comes to finding candidates that are truly meant for your business. That's why LinkedIn is the best place to post your job. LinkedIn job screens candidates with the hard and soft skills you're looking for so you can hire the right person fast. What was that?
What are those soft skills you're talking about?
Great question, Connor. Great question.
Thank you.
Really engaged of you to ask that question like that.
It's about time.
Agreed. Things like collaboration, creativity, adaptability. LinkedIn looks beyond the work skills and puts your job posts in front of qualified candidates who match your business requirements perfectly. That's how LinkedIn makes sure your job post is seen by the people you want to hire, people with the skills, qualifications, and other interests that will help your business grow. It's no wonder a person is hired every 8 seconds with LinkedIn and why companies rated LinkedIn Jobs the #1 hiring platform for delivering quality hires. Hey, good for LinkedIn. Find the right person for your business today with LinkedIn Jobs. You can pay what you want and get the first $50 off. Just visit linkedin.com/Pat. Again, that's linkedin.com/Pat to get $50 off your first job post. Terms and conditions obviously apply. I have some thoughts on this whole Josh Gordon situation. It's sad. Anybody that's going after him, laughing in his face, I mean, warranted. He's made a lot of mistakes. But this is a sad situation. I think in a couple years we'll look back on this and go, damn, this is the Pat McAfee Show.
Ten years ago, I had an undiagnosed heart condition, and erectile dysfunction was actually the first sign that something was wrong.
Luckily, I'm a doctor, an expert in sexual health, and Zach's dad.
Not everyone has a doctor in the house, and some health conditions can be really tough to talk about. We started Roman to change that.
Now you can go online and chat with a physician.
And if treatment is right for you, we'll ship genuine medication right to your door. If you're experiencing ED, hair loss, cold sores, or other issues, let's take care of it.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Good beat drop right there. It is 10:29 Eastern Standard Time, 7:29 over there in near the ocean that doesn't have salt in Zito's eyes.
Come on.
That's what you said. 9:29 Central Standard Time, and
11:29 in Beijing tomorrow.
thank you. Shout out to Beijing. Today's the day after Josh Gordon has been suspended indefinitely from the NFL for. I didn't like how they added in the performance-enhancing abuse, drug abuse, and substance of abuse policy failures because, in my eyes, I always thought it was the weed that Josh Gordon was failing tests for. The fact that they added performance-enhancing drugs into the announcement makes me wonder. I mean, I don't know if that's just standard on how they would announce it regardless, but if he failed for a performance-enhancing drug, obviously the NFL accounts for that with his substance of abuse issues, ties them together and says, all right, this guy just can't pass the guidelines that we have regulated. Now, there's been a lot of questions around the internet, in the interwebs, about how the NFL tests. It is an annual drug test for street drugs that starts on April 20th. Yes, 4/20 it starts. And it goes all the way through the first week of training camp. And you get tested one time through there, and then you're done for the rest of the year. So if you get tested on April 20th, that means your annual test is done. As soon as that thing gets cleared, you wait a day because you might have been too dilute, you might have been too hydrated. They might ask you to retest again tomorrow morning. So you don't want to get tested on April 20th. Think that you're in the clear because you had stopped smoking 3 weeks in the past, take your test, and then go ahead, go home, and gas mask, bong, joint, everything like that. That is an amateur mistake. You wait a day or two to make sure that the test has been put in and you're good for the rest of the year. Because if you've already been clean for 3 weeks, for a month, you can wait another day or two. This is just the mindset. Now, if you don't get tested in OTAs during that April 20th before the summer break, that means you're going to get tested the first week of training camp, which means you can't smoke all summer. But once you get your test done, you're clear for the rest of the year for street drugs. This does not count Adderall. Adderall is also a performance-enhancing drug. This is strictly, I think it's just strictly marijuana, basically. I don't know what other drugs they're potentially getting out of that, but it's marijuana. Now, if you're in the substance of abuse program, which you enter with a failed test, you entered with an arrest that involves an alcohol or drug-related charge, you are then in a different program. You are no longer in the once a year test for street drugs. You are now in a program called the Substance of Abuse Program, which Josh Gordon has been in for years. I was in after my public intoxication arrest. And the way it works is you go into a phase 1. And phase 1 is normally for guys who fail a test, waiting for you to get clean as the drugs leave your body. And then once the drugs leave your body, you leave phase 1 into phase 2. And the difference between phase 1 and phase 2 is phase 1 is normally a month or 3 months long. Phase 2 is 2 years long. So for me, whenever I went into the substance of abuse program for my public intoxication, I had to fly to Chicago. I met with psychiatrists, psychologists, 8 of them, and they did all these tests on me to see if I was an alcoholic, if alcoholism was a problem, if I needed to do any further treatment other than what they're going to do. Then I came back. I completed my phase 1 program with no failed tests. I got tested 8 times a month for those 3 months in phase 1. Anytime I left Indiana, I had to give them an address I was going to, 2 phone numbers they could reach me at, and I had to meet with a substance of abuse counselor once a week. So I do that for 3 months. I pass everything with flying colors. As soon as my 3 months are up and I know it, it's like you're getting off a parole or whatever, I'm driving home to Pittsburgh to go celebrate that I'm out. And while I'm driving home, I get a call from Dr. Brown, and Dr. Brown tells me, hello, is this Pat McAfee? Yes, it is. Like, I'm excited for this phone call. I did everything right in this phase 1. I did not fail any tests. I never failed a test in the NFL. By the way, I lost 15 pounds after I got arrested jumping rope in 8 days. I lost 15 pounds in 8 days jumping rope while I was suspended. Pissed clean, got no failed tests or anything like that. So as soon as phase 1 was over, I get a phone call. I'm on my way back to Pittsburgh to celebrate. Hey, your boy's free. Here we go. I'm back in the game. And instead, Dr. Brown informs me that I am now moving into phase 2, which is the same as phase 1. It's just 24 months long. So I immediately pull the car over to the side of the road. And I go, what does that even mean? He goes, well, we have decided that you need to go into phase 2 now. I said, well, what did I do wrong in phase 1? He goes, nothing. You actually did great. I was like, well, then what's the purpose of phase 1? If you do phase 1 100% right, and then you just move into phase 2. He's like, well, I have determined that you need to go into phase 2. I was like, well, who are you? He said, I'm Dr. Brown. I was like, what type of doctor are you? He goes, I'm a psychiatrist or something like that. I'm like, that's not even a real doctor. And then that turned into a nightmare for me because Dr. Brown is 100% in charge. By the way, Dr. Brown, real doctor is what I've been told by a lot of people, and good guy. Just in the moment, I acted immaturely and wasn't happy. So for the next 24 months, I was tested 8 times a month for 24 months, counting the phase 1. That's 27 months altogether. Anytime I would leave Indiana, I would have to call the NFL in New York, give them my address, 2 phone numbers they could reach me. I had to meet with a substance abuse counselor once a week for 24 months. I got tested over 200 and some times over this span, okay? I got tested on a Friday in Indianapolis, a Saturday in Vegas, and a Monday in Pittsburgh in one particular run. I mean, this is just the way it goes. So everybody's like, well, Josh Gordon, if he can't pass his annual test, he's an idiot or whatever. Well, Josh Gordon is in the substance of abuse program. He is getting tested 8 times a month randomly. I got tested at 4 a.m. after Bigfoot hunting in Georgia because Dr. Brown thought I was trying to elude him whenever I gave him the address, and it was in the middle of the woods in southern Georgia. So the Atlanta Falcons guy who, every city has a, I forget the drug-free sport representative who does the piss test. It's like their actual profession is just to get pee from people. He drove out in the middle of the woods at a Days Inn I was staying at in the middle of nowhere in the lobby. He calls me at 4 a.m. I don't answer because I'm passed out. I had been Bigfoot hunting until 2:30. I just fell asleep. He calls me at 4, leaves me a voicemail and says, your 4-hour window to take your drug test has begun. I will call you every 30 minutes. So at 4:30, he called me. At 5 a.m., he called me. I wake up at 5 to a vibrating number. I go, hello. He goes, hi, this is blah, blah, blah. You are 1 hour into your 4-hour window. I am here at your hotel to take it. Are you still here? They thought I was lying to them where I was. I was like, no, I'm here. I go down there while I'm peeing. I'm in the bathroom. I'm peeing in this guy's thing. He goes, I have never been asked to drug test somebody at 4 a.m. in the middle. What did you do to Dr. Brown? I was like, I don't know, man. I've been on the run. He said, yeah, he thinks you're eluding him. I was like, well, yesterday I was in Louisiana trying to hunt some gators. Today I'm here hunting for Bigfoot. Tomorrow I'm hunting for ghosts in southern Florida. I mean, I'm just trying to find what I can do sober that's fun, and it just so happens to be on a little bit of a run here. He said, I'll let him know so not every drug-free sport person has to test you at 4 a.m. because this ruins my day too, Pat. I was like, your day? I'm peeing into a cup here in a Days Inn lobby. But that is how intrusive this program is. So for people to think that Josh Gordon was only getting tested one time or he's an idiot because he didn't know when it was coming, it's like maybe he is an idiot. And maybe he did slip up and think, you know what? I got tested here. I probably have 2 days. I have very small body fat. I can smoke right now. And by the next time I get tested, it'll be out of me. I can enjoy just a little bit of something in life without it happening. He fails a test. He knows it. Everybody said, I guess, that after the Carolina Panthers win, he was the only person that didn't seem happy because he knew he was going to fail a drug test. So if it was strictly from substances of abuse, and it was weed again, that is how it works. He's been tested 8 times a month for the last 4 years of his life. It's like you have a PO following you around. It is not a fun program. It is not a good operation. Many people don't get out. I think the object is for you not to get out so that you fail a test. They have to fine you, and then they just keep you on the right track. But it's a pain in the ass. And as somebody, I had to go completely clean. I went completely clean for 27 months. Tried spice there for the first couple months. It was kind of a fresh thing. But I obviously, I go back to college, West Virginia during that time to go see one of my boys. It was his birthday or something like that. He invited me back. And I can't drink. If I get spotted at a club or something like that or have any alcohol in me, it's an immediate fine. If I have obviously any marijuana in me, it's an immediate fine and more suspensions, everything like that. So I'm smoking a spice because it doesn't show up in your system. And literally as soon as I got put into the program, an OG on the team who's been in the program a long time, he's like, I got you, dog. After practice, ride with me. We rode down to a smoke shop. We went to the back. He got me some of this spice. He goes, here you go, man. It's not great, but it's a little something that won't fail up on a test. I'm like, perfect. So I started smoking this spice a little bit or whatever. I started like, just something to do a little something because I was a party animal. Like I was going hard, and then everything stops, and then my career was this is all my fault, by the way. I am not blaming anybody else. This is 100% my fault that this happened, but as soon as I get in trouble, everything stops. No drinking, no smoking, no friends, really. I couldn't really hang out with my friends because at that point, all my friends partied, and I felt bad going out with them and being the guy that instead of buying 100 shots and being a good time, instead I was the guy like having water, like, hey, guys, let's have a good time. So I just stopped going out. So I was smoking spice or whatever to try to just give me a little feeling of intoxication of something, right? Just a little bit of something. And It's my friend's birthday back in college, and we're sitting down in the living room, and they're smoking, and I'm smoking my own thing. I'm like, you guys wanting this? They're like, no, Pat. And they were like, let me see a bag of that thing. I look at it, and my one friend from college, really good friend in college, looks at me and goes, so this is what the NFL is, Pat? And I go, what's that? He goes, smoking meth in a college dorm room. And I was like, this is bad, isn't it? He goes, Pat, it looks like you're smoking potpourri. This is made in the basement of somebody's house. You might as well just put all the chemicals in the windshield wiper fluid and just dump it down your throat. And I was like, well, I'm going to stop smoking this immediately. It gave me a nasty headache. It was terrible. I mean, it was disgusting every single time. So I went completely clean for like 26 months, I think, 25 months. And it really changes your world. It changes your world immensely. But that's what the substance of abuse program is. That's what Josh Gordon has been going through now for the last 4 years. So I think I have a little bit more sympathy for the guy, knowing that he might slip up because it is such a regimen where you can't do anything and you have to report where you're at all times. And yes, he put himself in this. This is his problem. He did it 100%, just like me. I put myself into that program 100% myself. But I, as somebody who's been in that program, can see how you could accidentally slip up every once in a while and life becomes a pain in the ass for you.
I don't want to speculate, but like when they add in the performance enhancing part, and you said earlier that they normally do not test on game days, like maybe Josh has been taking Adderall or something like that on game days and not being used to be tested on game days, and then this something like this happens.
Yeah, I have no idea. Until they tell us what he failed for, then we'll know more. We got to get to a break right now, and then we'll get on the other side. We got Mr. Clark, Packers D tackle, that's going to chit-chat with us about everything happening with the Packers. Control their own destiny. Could potentially have home field advantage to the playoffs still. This team's been winning ugly, and how you win ugly? You run the ball, you stop the run. D tackle is a big part of that. Can't wait to talk to Mr. Clark. We'll be back on the other side of the Pat McAfee Show.
At some point in their life, 52% of all men will experience erectile dysfunction, but most of them never get treated. Now there's Roman, the digital health clinic for men. With Roman, you can get genuine medication prescribed by a U.S. licensed physician, all from the comfort of your home. If medication is right for you, Roman delivers it with free 2-day shipping and in discreet packaging. Get started with a free online visit today at GetRoman.com/TV. Roman, let's take care of it.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Joining us now, D tackle for the Green Bay Packers, a man that has a foundation called the Clark Family Dreams Do Come True Foundation from UCLA, Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Kenny, how's it going, brother? Life's got to be pretty good over there in Green Bay. You guys are winning a lot of games, and that defense looks damn good, Kenny.
Yes, sir. It's a good time to be a Green Bay Packer. You know, we winning a lot of games. 11-3 right now, and a big one next week. This week coming up.
You do have a massive one against the Vikings here on Monday Night Football. A lot on the line, potential home field advantage in the NFC, which is huge, especially if people have to come through Lambeau. You went to UCLA. Going to Green Bay, was there a bit of a shift there in your mindset? Like, damn, this is a whole new world out here, and how much have you grown to love it?
Yeah, 100%, man. You just go from, a big city, in L.A., and just, you see all the stuff, out there, the beaches and all the, malls and all that kind of stuff. And then you come to Green Bay and, we only got like one mall. It's a small town. It's different. So the first time I seen snow was my rookie year coming out here. So it definitely was a culture shock for me, for sure.
But the fans are incredible, impeccable. They have your back at all times. What has it been like playing for a fan base that is literally loyal and into every single game?
Oh, yeah, man. I love it, man. The fans are great. They're, at every game, man, loud as ever. Third down up here, man, I can't hear my own self think sometimes. It's crazy. So, they love us up here. It's a family atmosphere always. And, I just love being here.
You were a first-round pick number 27 in 2016, and you have played the part. Ty Schmidt, one of our guys here, is an owner of the Packers. He absolutely loves the way you play football. As a D tackle, it's your job just to eat humans and cause disruption. How is that? What's your mindset going into every single game, especially against the Vikings here who have a great rush attack?
Man, my mindset is just doing my job to the best of my ability, and man, just knocking guys back, holding a double team when I got to hold a double team, and just making the plays that come to me. I think I've just been doing that all year. So got to just keep doing that, being consistent for my teammates, be where I'm supposed to be at all times, and help guys out like Blake and all the other guys that's behind me. That need to fill in gaps, whenever I need to hold a double team or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the D tackle just eats humans so that the linebackers can make plays. Never appreciated enough, except for by the linebackers that know what you're doing. Blake was on the show last week. Good dude. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers went into his press conference. He said, "We're not getting a lot of respect from the rest of the league and from the media because we're winning ugly." Does that type of message resonate across the locker room, or what do you think he's saying by that?
Man, I kind of feel the same way, but it is what it is. It's just gonna keep on just fueling us as a team. But I just feel like we have some great wins against some really good teams, and we had a lot of great wins against some winning teams, and I don't think people are really putting respect on it as they should, but. At the end of the day, it don't really matter, what everybody else thinks. It's about what we think, and, all we can control is just going out there and, playing some good football, winning these games, and, making this push.
You've been there since 2016. What is the culture like now under LaFleur as opposed to what it was the last couple of years? It was the tail end of a relationship that everybody saw that was going to be splitting last year. Now this year, it's almost like a renewed energy. Aaron Rodgers says that personalities are growing inside that locker room. Everybody's happy, having a good time. Is that accurate?
Yeah, man. I would just say, man, this is the closest team that I've ever been a part of. Just the guys that we brought in, and the guys that are already here, and the guys we brought in, we just all mesh in well together. We do a lot of stuff together on the off days. Just the whole energy in the building, man. Coach LaFleur, he's a great guy, great coach. He brings a lot of energy with the assistant coaches. So it's just a different. I don't know, man. I just feel like this team is just a lot closer. And we just play for each other, and we play. We don't try to let each other down. And I think that's the biggest key to our success this year.
Who's an old lineman that when you played against him, you're like, damn, that guy was different? Or has there been one?
Man, I would probably say I'll go with Travis Frederick and Zach Martin this year. Those guys. Jason Kelsey too. Jason Kelsey is pretty nice. Those guys. They've been at the top of the league for a very long time, and you can obviously see why. Man, they play with great hands. Their effort is tremendous. They're powerful guys, and they're quick. They're quick players that can get on the edge of you quick. So you always got to be, have your technique right and be on your P's and Q's with them.
Before we let you go, enjoy your off day, which I believe is today. Can you tell us about the Clark Family Dreams Do Come True Foundation? Sounds like you're doing magical stuff.
Yeah, man. We just got a lot of stuff going on. I just got done doing I'm doing my toy drive this week for Christmas.
Okay. How do we help?
Oh man, well, you can just donate. Toys to my church, the 16th Street in San Bernardino, the Seventh Day Adventist Church. It's a good event that we hold for during Christmas time, and it's a toy drive. We just try to give out toys and stuff like that and presents to young kids, and just brighten up their day and for the holidays and help families out. So with my foundation, we just got a lot of stuff going on, and just happy that we got that going.
That's real fulfillment, making the world a better place outside the football field. I'm happy for you, man. Last question. I've learned throughout my travels in the football world, if you want to go to the most entertaining room in any locker room, it's the D-line room. Who's the guy in there that's got the juice?
Man, I'm gonna go with probably Preston, and Z, of course. Out of the D-line, probably gonna go with Montrevious, man. He's the crazy one. Nah, probably not Kingsley Kiki, man. He's the crazy one out of the group. He always lighting up the day. When guys are got their mind going and things are going slow. He's always the one that's making everybody laugh and doing something crazy. So I'll probably go with Kingsley Kiki.
Well, you need that. It's been a long season, but you guys got a lot in front of you. Still have home field advantage in the NFC on the line. Good luck on Monday Night Football against the Vikings. Thank you so much for coming on the show and for what you're doing with your foundation, Mr. Kenny Clark.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
At KC, bout that life. You ain't about that life. Ain't about that life. Appreciate you, Kenny. Appreciate you, man.
All right, guys.
The D-line rooms. If you ever walk into a facility and you're getting like a tour or whatever, just find your way to the D-line room.
It's interesting he said the dudes that run that room are both brought in this offseason.
Yeah.
Like they've been acclimated that quickly.
Well, and they've been given a lot of money. So anytime you give somebody a lot of money, there's immediate leadership responsibilities. But the fact that they've taken ownership of that, he said this is the tightest team I've been on, by the way. Those are the teams that win the close games because you're playing for each other. As opposed to just playing alongside, you're playing for each other. That's an X factor I have talked about on a very regular basis that does not get appreciated enough as teams that like each other. This team's tight. That's good news for you, Ty, going into the future. Win ugly, win small, win big. As long as you win, that's all that matters. We'll be back on the other side. We have potentially Pierre Desir of the Indianapolis Colts, Walter Payton Man of the Year joining us, and plenty of other conversations. We can't wait. Also, phones, 1-833-622-3331. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We'll see you on the other side.
Did you know over 60% of men experience significant hair loss by age 35? Some shave it or hide it, but some of us want to treat it. That's why there's Roman, the digital health clinic for men. With Roman, you can get personalized hair loss treatment and unlimited follow-ups from a U.S. licensed physician. If treatment is right for you, Roman delivers it with free 2-day shipping. Get started today with a free online visit at GetRoman.com/TV. Roman, let's take care of it.
It's the perfect occasion for a little vacation from the heart of the nation. Not your medication, 2 hours of magic. Let's give it a go. Ladies and gents, it's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
You're damn right, Chase Rice. That man's on tour right now. If he comes to your city, go check him out. He puts on a hell of a show. Joining us on the chatting couch, Boston Connor. Anything going on in the NBA?
Oh, yeah, we got plenty of stuff going on in the NBA. It's going great.
Okay, riveting. Nick Morono, Diggs, Ty Schmidt, Jason McAfee, Viva Lazino, Evan Foxy, and Todd McComas is on the phones. 1-833-622-3331. We will get to that. Pierre Desir of the Indianapolis Colts was potentially going to come in today at 11:30 to tell his story and talk about his Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination for the Colts, but they got buzzsawed last night by Drew Brees in the New Orleans Saints, so we kind of expected him not to come in, and he will be changing that to another day. Nothing but respect for that decision. I actually walked in here this morning and said, if I'm Pierre Desir, I am canceling the appearance today as fast as possible. Last night on Monday Night Football, the Saints put on an absolute rout of the Indianapolis Colts. Jacoby Brissett, in the first half of the season, I was talking about him being a potential MVP candidate. He looked like a completely different animal. T.Y. Hilton told, who's the sideline reporter?
Tafoya? Nope.
That's
NBC.
Sunday Night Football. I put us in a bad spot there. Nobody knows.
Lisa Salter?
Yeah.
No
That,
clue.
that might be right.
I think it's Lisa Salter.
All right. She said that before the game, she talked to T.Y. Hilton. He said he was 100%. I don't think that was accurate at all. He wasn't even in the game most of the time. The Colts just looked beat up, banged up, and they got obliterated by Drew Brees. By the way, big congrats to Drew Brees for passing Peyton Manning's record of most touchdowns in an NFL career. Hey, Drew! Last night was also like a trip down memory lane for the Saints and how they just beat us in the Super Bowl. Had to relive the entire thing about 45 different times while watching them beat up on the Indianapolis Colts, while potentially not winning a plus 51 bet. Last night was a little bit of a nightmare for us in Indianapolis, but congrats to the Saints. They look like they got a squad, by the way. And if they get home field advantage in the NFC, is it going to be difficult for an NFC team to travel into the Superdome and get a win? The Niners were able to do it just a couple weeks ago, but the Niners faithful travels very, very, very well, and that was a very close game. Home field advantage in the NFC is going to mean so much, so much. And right now, the Seattle Seahawks can get it, the Niners can get it, and the Green Bay Packers can get it. It is up for grabs in the NFC. The NFL playoffs should be an awesome one. And in the AFC, everybody knows all roads run through the Baltimore Ravens. And will the Patriots ever be able to get that offense going here in the last couple weeks of the season? Will they have to play in the first week if they lose to the Bills and then to Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins? I mean, there's a lot of crazy things that can happen in the AFC. And Boston Connor, I ask you this question. Is the dynasty over for the New England Patriots?
Absolutely not.
Oh, that's weird. I got a text message from you just
That was a long time ago.
a week and a half ago. Boston Connor sent me a text that says he believes that the Patriots stink. Now, I believe he was in comparison to old Patriots offenses in his defense.
For sure.
I don't want to bury him, but that defense might be good enough to carry them to another championship, you think?
It might be. It's just with Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes, you got to score at least 25 points. And, I mean, the Patriots on offense have looked very mediocre.
This is sad, too, because this is one of the greatest runs in the history of sports. Now, if it ends this year, not only is it ending, and we have to see something that we've known basically for our entire adulthood to be a truth, that Belichick and Tom Brady are just the greatest. They are. But also with this video thing happening, it just tarnishes a great legacy yet again. For people that don't like them, are going to say, yep, they cheated. None of this matters. For people that do love them, it's like, well, we win. That's why you call us cheaters. And for me, somebody who has a pretty good brain, who has gone into Foxborough and lost by 70, and somebody that has appreciated and respected the run that they've been on, the video, I don't think you can get much out of it. I just think it's a dumb move. And I think that dumb move is a potential lead into this whole Patriots thing being done. And I'm not happy about it. Tom Brady's contract is up. Where is he going to go? Is he going to retire after having his worst season? Maybe. I don't know if that's the way Tom Brady is. Tom versus time. Tom might be kicking his ass right now, but I don't know if Tom's going to have his worst season and retire. And the AFC could be a completely different picture next year. Lamar Jackson, Duck Hodges, Pat Mahomes. And will the Browns ever be good again? I don't know. I just don't know.
As someone whose team is currently sitting in the 6th spot, I am praying the Bills beat the Patriots this week so that the Chiefs slide up and the Patriots slide down to 3. Because I would much, much rather play the Patriots than the Chiefs at this point.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if you play the Chiefs, you're right. They're going to put up 28, probably. You play the Patriots. You're looking at, if you have a good defense, 13-10, 17-10. Anything can happen. Turnover here or there.
Let's go to Seth in Martinsville, Indiana. Seth, what's going on, pal?
Hey, I want to talk a little bit about Mr. Ducky Hodges.
Go ahead.
So I'm watching the game against the Bills on Sunday night, and, and given the Bills' defense is really good, I'm just not convinced that Mr. Hodges is going to be our permanent solution after Mr. Big Ben retires. I'm kind of getting the vibe that Mr. Hodges is going to be kind of like a Ryan Fitzpatrick and probably going to have a journeyman career. What do you think, Pat?
That's high praise.
If Duck Hodges is Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think Duck Hodges feels very good about that. Very, very good about that. He passed, 40 sometimes against the Buffalo Bills? Yeah. He passed 38 times against the Buffalo Bills. Pass defense at
number 3.
Number 3 in the NFL. He had 4 picks. Not great numbers. He's still 3-1 as a rookie quarterback that's been thrown in a situation. He's rooming with somebody that isn't even associated with the Steelers. He was on the streets there for a little bit. I think Duck Hodges is a guy who's a very good quarterback. I think he gets you some wins. But that Buffalo Bills defense has given a lot of people problems. They give Lamar Jackson problems. That's just why I think if you're a Patriots fan, you have to be like, damn, this defense, who's only getting better, not worse, is coming to town against our offense that's struggling, and it's going to be another battle of defenses, which has been happening on a more regular basis this year in the NFL than it has had in recent history. Normally it's offense, who can keep up with who. Now defensive-minded teams that have good defense have been having success, but your offense has to be able to score points against another good defense. And can the Patriots do that against the Bills? I'm just not sure. Duck Hodges wasn't able to do it. They also went away from the running back, which makes no sense to me. Maybe it's Randy Fichtner's fault, but I have no idea what Duck Hodges' future holds. Honestly, I don't think Duck does either. I think Duck is just kind of flying by the seat of his pants right now, quacking his way through everything.
Randy's the worst OC in the NFL, so we'll just take that.
That's the Steelers offense coordinator.
But yeah, when you go against a team that is number 3 in passing defense, and you throw 38 times. Duck did have some bad throws. Duck had some bad. Duck missed some throws.
Duck's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, primetime NFL playoff atmosphere though. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, well.
You dress 5 running backs and run the ball 15 times. I don't understand that.
Let's go to Darian in Venice, Florida.
Run the Wildcat with a wide receiver.
What's going on, Darian? A fumble in the goal line. Yeah, what's up, Darian?
Hey, what's going on, guys? So the Monday night
Hold on,
commentary.
Darian, hold on, Darian. You're down in Venice, Florida. What is the temperature right now? Can you paint the picture for us? Because we are in the middle of a snow globe right now here.
Right now we are sitting at 83.
Oh, my
God. Is it a sunny 83 or is it cloudy?
Yeah, it's hot as hell out.
Oh, man.
Wasn't that great?
Checks out.
Couple palm trees around, or what's going on?
So the Monday Night Football commentary team has been notoriously terrible this season. I know after doing Thursday Night Football this year, you kind of went on record saying that you think you're done with that crew. But if ESPN came calling to you, would you take the Monday Night Football job?
Absolutely. In a heartbeat, Darian. I appreciate you for the question. So we made a big push for that Monday Night Football gig, strictly because I called one college game last year and one NFL game last year, and it was a 31-0 blowout in Lambeau, which I didn't appreciate. I wanted a good game there, but I had a blast with it. And we made a big push for me to potentially get that Monday Night Football gig because we knew it was going to open up. We knew Jason Witten wasn't going to be back there. The fact that he went back to the league, I'm very happy for it because there's a lot of people who only knew Jason Witten from being a commentator, not from being a tight end. And I would assume his legacy was almost ruined, by the way. It's not easy to speak into microphones for a living. If it was, everybody would do it. I mean, I'm getting roasted right now by a lot of Ohio State people that have no idea who I am. Oh, you're just some nobody who talks into a microphone. Well, yeah, and I do it very well, and I know that. That's why I retired from the NFL in the middle of my prime after making a Pro Bowl. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of execs in suits at ESPN who did not know about me, and by not knowing about me, they knew that I existed. They just didn't know if I was good enough for their air, right? I was an internet guy. Whenever I retired, I had no other opportunities other than Barstool. Dave and Erica were the only people that were like, hey, why don't you learn the internet, how the internet works with us? You run your own affiliate out there in Indianapolis. We'll help you out. We'll teach you some things. And we'll see how this goes. They were literally the only people that give me a shot. So Forever indebted to them for that. But no TV networks would let me on air because my tweets were too electric. They're for adults. The way I was on the internet, I did stand-up comedy. I did a tour by this point while I was still in the league. And I said words that weren't nice, they think. They rhymed with luck and duck and all these things. So there was no TV networks that would give me a shot. And also, I was a punter. Now stories are coming out from producers but at all networks where they're like, we pitched a show with you, but the exec said, nobody cares the guy was a punter, right? And for future reference, I wasn't a punter, I was the punter. So it's something to think about. So whenever we made this push for Monday Night Football, we knew there was no chance I would get it. We knew there was no chance we would get it. But we trended for 10 hours at number 2 on Twitter for McAfee for MNF, which is not an easy thing to do on Twitter, by the way, because the algorithm is favoring people that have, like the Illuminati behind them to trend. So I wasn't on the list for the Monday Night Football gig until we trended. Then they had to actually take notice. Now, Joe Thomas got an interview and an audition for Monday Night Football. I've heard other people got an audition for Monday Night Football. I'm not 100% sure if Booger auditioned for that before they gave him the gig. I never got an audition. I never got a chance to really try to see if I'd be a good fit with Joe Tessitore. I think they just put my name in there strictly to appease the people of the internet who have been pushing for me. After doing Thursday Night Football, I think I learned that I'm not for everybody, which is what I've learned for my entire life. But, man, I feel like I can make a game better. And I'm also... I think there's some people that listen to songs, they only hear the beat, right? They don't hear the actual lyrics. For me, some people only hear my delivery. They don't hear the words that are coming out of my mouth, because if you listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, I'm probably talking a lot better than the other people that are talking on TV. It just sounds a little bit different as it comes out. So I think the issue is those execs that are making the decisions, the gatekeepers that are making the decisions, they're so used to somebody that is just right by the book, so bland, going to say the things, and that was a good get off by that defensive end right there. Let me get the telestrator and circle that person. Look at his footwork. Oh, my. Instead of saying, damn, that dude got off the ball a lot faster than his tackle, and for that, I think he got a good edge. That's why home field advantage is a big-time deal, because you can make some noise, tackle can't hear it. So I think I would be good for the gig, but there is zero chance they give me that job. Zero. Especially now, the more and more I know about the way it all operates, I think I'd be good in there. I'm just not sure if they would ever give me the gig, and I would love that job if it ever came available.
I'm also not sure, but it seems like Monday Night Football is the kind of gig where they don't really want you doing anything else but Monday Night Football.
It's cool with me. I think they pay a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's all they want me to do.
I mean, we'd do some podcasts, you could do some podcasts at the house, take care of the boys here, still run PMI. But if Monday Night Football is a job, that's a dream job. Monday Night Football is a dream job. Just like College Game Day, by the way, dream job. If you have a real role in the show, it's a dream job. It's just, I'm not 100% sure. You got to remember, I was rejected from broadcast boot camp numerous times. Wasn't allowed in. Wasn't allowed in. They said no to me. And all these people you hear speaking on TV, I'm the only person, I think, the only player from the NFL that didn't go through broadcast boot camp who has a job on TV. And I'm very proud of that. But with that comes things like not knowing the rules. I don't know the rules. I don't know when to do what. I don't know how to do what. I feel like I just know how to make some things a little bit more entertaining in my own way. But sometimes it takes a lot of people longer to know that than others.
Did I see that College Game Day had the highest ratings that they've in a long time this year, or was it ever this year?
Coincidence, bro. Just strictly
purely coincidence.
Purely coincidence.
Huh. That's interesting.
Purely coincidence.
That's interesting. I feel like the whole cast of characters is exactly the same, except for.
We're not saying it.
No.
No. Men lie, women lie.
Numbers don't.
Numbers don't lie. But in the world we live in, there are a lot of skewed numbers. You got people saying they got a quarter of the population of the country watching this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of interesting numbers being thrown around for things. I loved my time on Game Day, was very thankful for my time on Game Day. And I think the reason why I was so thankful, because I know how hard it is to get onto those shows due to all of the people that make the decisions having to be like, yep. I was thinking... it happened with WWE, too. My first couple times on there, people hated me, right? Because they're listening to the delivery. They're not listening to the words. So I could be a bit abrupt, and I know I'm not for everybody. I thought about a couple times going on there and just doing the standard, like just being like the super boring.
Regular.
I've thought about that a couple different times, like just to see how terrible it would be. And like almost troll the whole thing. It is 1st and 10. This is awesome football down here. Look at him throw the ball.
I
The
wish he
way.
would've.
Oh, and in WWE, like when he hits that Hurricane Rana, everybody knows what's coming. Just lame asses. I don't know. You got to remember, there's a lot of people making decisions. And a lot of people have made a lot of money making the decisions that they've made. So even though the world is changing right in front of their faces, in their eyes, it's hard to change because of how much success and how much money has been generated. Normally, it feels as if the networks are like a year or two behind what's going on the internet. And that's why I've always taken like being an internet guy as a compliment. Like, you're damn right. Because over here on the internet, everybody can say whatever they want about Barstool. Everybody can say whatever they want about us and people on the internet. You got to earn your views over here. It's not just being handed to you. These are things you got to earn. And I take a lot of pride in that. I take a lot of pride in this operation. I take a lot of pride in what we do. And I take a lot of pride in my platform that I've built on the internet. Because, hey, it ain't easy to do. You get a lot of bums that are just on TV that have big name, that have big followings, can't move a damn thing. I feel good about what we do.
You should.
Pat, would you ever consider play-by-play?
You know, I thought that would be the right place for me. I really did I thought play-by-play would be for me. And then I learned after these college games, like, I don't know any of these kids' names. I don't know any of these dudes' names. We were calling games, and he would even come to game day. It's like, how the hell am I supposed to learn all of these kids? There's like 140 of them. I don't know if it was something I knew about. So if it was NFL, I feel like I am very knowledgeable within the NFL. I know the stories. I know the coaches, personal friends with a lot of players and coaches. I think I could do play-by-play in the NFL. But if it was college, just go ahead and let me just drop some things in. I don't know if I can do the play-by-play. Music, please. By the way, full lines yet again here on the radio. It's kind of been a constant, it feels like. And the people that listen to the show and the people that call into the show and follow us on the Twitter and listen to our podcast, like, if it wasn't for them, that Monday Night Football thing that we just talked about, nowhere near an opportunity if it wasn't for the people on the internet.
They're the best.
None of us would have jobs.
Agreed.
Correct.
Concur. The best.
Very thankful.
Very, very thankful. Some of them annoy the hell out of me.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, where did blah, blah, blah go? Well, he quit. What do you want? What do you want from me? The guy quit.
Left without saying goodbye.
Well, you.
Wow.
Fuck off.
Fucking-
Nick for the top rope.
Just a weird move.
It was a very weird. I wasn't even in the office. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. Everybody has success, though. I hope everybody has
He
success.
told me he doesn't bring me chocolate milk.
Son of a bitch! I hate Steven Singer.
Oh,
God. I hate this guy.
Oh.
You heard me. I hate Steven Singer. There's this guy in Philadelphia. You've been hearing us talk about it on the podcast, and if you've been to Philly, you may have seen the billboards or heard him on the radio. I hate Steven Singer. This time of year, most other jewelers love to hate Steven. Why? Because Steven has the most beautiful, best value diamond studs anywhere, and I mean anywhere. Diamond stud earrings are the #1 must-have gift this holiday. You can choose a great pair of Anita diamond stud earrings for under $270, and they're the best quality as well. Bright white with tons of sparkle. Don't settle for cheap diamonds that look like frozen spit. Gross. Disgusting. People buy that. Buy real diamonds from a real jeweler that you can trust. Steven Singh Jewelers. Steven also gives everyone a full value lifetime trading guarantee. That means you can trade up your diamond studs for the full value anytime you want. Steven makes holiday shopping easy. But don't wait any longer. This is your last chance to order with free shipping in time for Christmas. Order by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Friday, December 20th, with free shipping, and it will arrive in time for Christmas. Go right now to IHateStevenSinger.com or visit the real Steven Singer at the other corner of 8th and Walnut in Philly. Real diamonds, real experts, real jewelers. No one does real diamond studs better. Steven Singh Jewelers. That's IHateSteven Singer.com. We'll be back on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
Ten years ago, I had an undiagnosed heart condition, and erectile dysfunction was actually the first sign that something was wrong.
Luckily, I'm a doctor, an expert in sexual health, and Zach's dad.
Not everyone has a doctor in the house, and some health conditions can be really tough to talk about. We started Roman to change that.
Now you can go online and chat with a physician.
And if treatment is right for you, we'll ship genuine medication right to your door. If you're experiencing ED, hair loss, cold sores, or other issues, let's take care of it.
It's a heater. Who made this, Nick?
Alan Walker.
Well, thanks, Alan Walker, for this beat. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, 11:24 Eastern Standard Time, in the second hour of a great show that we've been having. Got a chance to talk about Josh Gordon, talked about the Patriots, talked about the Saints buzzsong. What we haven't talked about is the NFLPA releasing a statement stating that 25% of its grievances from players in the last couple of years have been filed against the Jacksonville Jaguars. First of all, the NFLPA coming out and stating in the statement, they actually said, would like players to take this into account when deciding where they want to go. The NFLPA openly recruiting against the Jacksonville Jaguars is a hilarious thought. Just like, hey, this is what you're getting into if you go down there. They had a picture of Tom Coughlin, who's an old school guy. They had a picture of what was going on down there. Dante Fowler came out and said, these folks hated me. They literally took $700,000 away from him in fines for making something mandatory that legally, due to the CBA, they couldn't make mandatory. Now, this is a very interesting thing. This is the thought, though. Can old school people make it in the modern world that we're in the NFL? Tom Coughlin probably told Dante Fowler, hey, if you're hurt, Like, I want you in the training room, which is, by the way, since the beginning of football, a standard thing. If you're hurt, get in the training room because you're much better on the field than without it. And Dante Fowler said, no, I'll go use my own trainers. I'll go use my own physical therapist. I'll get healthy and I'll come back. And Tom Coughlin said, well, we're going to fine you every single time you miss it. And 25 times they fined him to the sum of $700,000. Turns out, new CBA that was negotiated about 10 years ago, that can't happen. You just can't fine him. And Tom Coughlin did not give a single damn. So, if you're the Khan family, and now you got the NFLPA openly recruiting against you. You got Tom Coughlin, old school guy, running the show. Not to success, by the way. A couple years ago, they were close and ultimately didn't make it because they kneeled out before half against the Patriots. Blake Bortles was their guy. Now they're back into the crapper, back into the can. They had Nick Foles. They paid him. Gardner Minshew, turns out he's the guy. But that team is just an absolute it show down there. Mm-hmm. If you're the Khan family, is it a time for a complete rehaul? Get Tom Coughlin out of there, bring somebody else that can bring it in and adapt to the modern world. Because it's not good when the NFLPA is telling people, like, hey, this is what's happening if you're going there. Because the NFLPA, although I think they are a sham of an operation, I don't think they're as good as they make out to be. I think they're good for some things. I think they do protect players in a lot of cases, but I think they stick their hands in a lot of things that they shouldn't be sticking their hands in. Them telling agents and players, like, hey, this is what you should think about before you go into the Jaguars, is not a good look for the Jaguars and could be very costly trying to get them, free agents or somebody that can make their team better.
I thought Doug Marrone was probably most likely gone. I mean, they got blown out by the Chargers at home. It looked like they didn't even try. And then it looked like they weren't trying when they were down 16-3 against the Raiders, and then they came back to spoil the last game in the black hole.
Gardner Minshew Mania is a real thing, though.
But Jalen Ramsey wanted out.
Dante Fowler wanted out.
Those are first-round picks in the last 3 or 4 years that they've had.
25%. By the way, I don't even know what grievance means. Like, can I just be like, hey, this GM is an ass. Can I just file that as a grievance?
That is a grievance.
Yeah.
Filed.
Complaint.
Airing of the grievance season is upon us.
I didn't even know people did that. See, that's... So when the Colts suspended me and fined me to the tune of $40,000 after I got arrested or whatever for a public intoxication, which was an alleged event, obviously, but I was definitely drunk. I mean, there's no allegedly to me being intoxicated. But to the swimming, that's all alleged. I was told, you can fight this and get your money back because they suspended me, which was a game check, and then they fined me another $15,000 on top of that. So altogether, it was $40,000 I lost. And by the way, when you lose $40,000 as a young person that doesn't come from money, and then you have a little bit of money, and then $40,000 is just plucked out of your life, that's when you stop caring about money. I just want to let you know. That was, for me, the turning point when I was like, well, I mean, $40,000 just got taken away. Who gives a damn about any of this? This is all monopoly money anyways, and I just went on a run.
So when they find you, so they took your game check, so you obviously don't get the game check. But when they find you the $15K, do you have to write them a check for $15K, or what does it come?
Everything just gets pulled out. Everything just gets pulled out. So you're looking at your check, and it's like, dun, dun, dun. Okay, here's federal taxes, 50%. Here's county taxes, another 7%. Here's this, here's your this, here's this. And you just, that's when you learn about life, by the way. Whenever you see a check that is worth more than you could have ever imagined in your life, you're like, oh my God, all that money's mine. And then you look directly to the right and it's like, oh, no. Uncle Sam gets some, the city gets some, the county gets some. Oh, and here's another fine that's getting some. And then you got $7.50 this week. It's
Enjoy
like,
groceries.
Damn. Yeah, damn. Good thing I'm living in a hellhole apartment with my brother right now. I mean, this is a good time. But I think that was when I probably could have filed a grievance, I guess. And I put in like, hey, can I get some of this money back? And it was held against me later in negotiation that I filed against the fine. Like, not held against me, but it was mentioned like, well, remember when he got fined, he wanted to get his money back and filed a grievance with the NFLPA. I was like, I didn't even know I filed a grievance. I just wanted my money back. So I stayed away from it completely. I think that whole world is a very interesting one. And I think I come from an old school mindset, right? Where something happens, it's like, okay, remember this. But I guess there's a lot of people that do it the smart way where they file grievances and do things properly in channels and stuff like that. But that all ends up happening is just a bunch of BS in my eyes.
What a crazy idea that when a guy gets what he thinks is unjustly fined, he would want that money back.
Yeah, crazy.
Insane,
$40,000. I got fined $150 from the city of Indianapolis. And I had to do, I forget how many hours of community service. So I got fined $40,153 for that alleged swim, mostly from Goodell.
Not to mention what you spent that night, too.
Had a good night.
Imagine being fined
Might have been
$700,000.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. And he can't do it. They couldn't. It turns out they weren't allowed to do it. It's like, at what point, though, as a Jaguars organization, do you just say, yeah, we're going to keep finding them. We don't give a single damn. And that's kind of the issue I would assume a lot of people go is they don't care what the rules are. They're going to fine him. And I think that was probably to make a statement. Let's assume that they knew that money probably wasn't going to be able to remain as a fine.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably just making that as a statement to everybody else. Like, we want you with our people. Now, you got to remember, I'm not 100% against that because I think your training – now, I was very lucky to be with the Colts training staff, and they get a bad rap every once in a while whenever, like, the Andrew Luck thing happens, but I think there was a lot of miscommunication on both sides in that whole thing. But the Colts training staff took care of me very well. I mean, they rehabbed me after 3 knee injuries. I mean, they did a lot for me. Peyton, Freeney, Vinatieri, the name goes on and on, the people that they've rehabbed. And I've heard horror stories about other medical staffs, how they're 100% working for the club, not for the players. So I know how there could be some fear. But you can see how the team would want you in-house so they can get a direct update immediately on how your recovery's coming, how you're performing, and everything like that. But for a player, it's in the CBA. I'm allowed to go train with my own people if I want. I'm allowed to get rehab in the offseason from somebody else if I want. I don't have to attend any of this except for the mandatory 3 days or whatever. So you can see how the rules could be a problem between an old school mindset and a new school mindset. And it's not good for the Jaguars.
It'd be funny if, because all this money, the fine money goes to charity, if, like, when they win a case like this, like Dante did, they take the money back from the charity. Just a bunch of hungry kids like, I thought Dante Fowler was Wong.
They never tell us where the money goes, by the way.
I bet not.
You never know where the money goes to charities or whatever. You never know. I wish they would take the money and give it to like old players.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like retired players.
At least to their benefit fund or
That's
something.
what I'm saying. Get them insurance or something.
So many vets would be like, "Oh, I can't wait for someone to be cheating again."
Oh yeah. So how do we get these guys back in the league? Like ex-players are like on hard times. Is there any way we can get Gordon back in there? That's then you never know where. Like I have no idea where my $40,000 went. I have no clue where it went. But they say it went to a charity. I'm like, oh, so I helped the world.
Good for you, man.
Hey,
look
good
at
on you. Hey. You don't get to write that off though. The NFL does.
Come on.
Aren't there checks and balances for that though?
No.
Like that, so that doesn't have to get cleared by the league. So they wouldn't have known like right away. Like, oh wait, you can't fine him for that.
No.
It's just all in house
Teams
with the
can do
team.
it. Yeah, you got to remember it's 32 states basically within the NFL umbrella. You know, you want to go to Costa Mesa, California, Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, Tampa, Florida, Denver, Johnson City, Tennessee.
Oh yes.
Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
Graham, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Pat.
Oh no.
Hey, Graham.
What's going on, Graham?
Oh, nothing much.
What's the
Since
lyrics
you
to
aren't
that?
a punter, you're the punter. I have a punter question for you.
Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me.
Sorry about that, Graham.
Picked up a fiddle.
So, with the Colquitt family, Michael Pilardi, Matt Barr, and Trevor Daniel, has any school produced more punters than the University of Tennessee?
Hey,
Does that make us punter you?
Hey, I'm on your side here. I actually do agree and believe in that whole thing. I'm a big fan of the University of Tennessee, their products. I mean, the Colquitts, they came from a punting family. Everybody knew they were going to go there, but them coming through Tennessee. And Michael Pilardi down there in Carolina was with the Colts for a week whenever I had like a sprained knee. I got a chance to watch him work. Good guy. Trevor Daniel, now he took Shane Leckler's job, which I don't like, not one bit, but he's done pretty good. I think University of Tennessee can definitely say that they're punter university.
Hey, well, we'll draw up the T-shirts.
Hey, now you guys stink though, down there.
Hey, we punt a lot.
Graham, I appreciate you. Johnson City, Tennessee, by the way. I feel like we get calls from Johnson City,
Really?
Tennessee. Yeah. Whenever we were on Sirius, we got calls from Johnson City,
Good
Tennessee.
people down there.
Good city.
It is. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I know nothing about it. Let's go to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania before we get to a break. Ethan, what's going on, pal?
Hey, guys. So I was just kind of wondering, Teddy Bridgewater, he's becoming a free agent this offseason. He could definitely go get a huge contract probably from somewhere. What are your thoughts maybe about him sticking it out in New Orleans and taking over after Breeze leaves?
Great question, Ethan. Appreciate the call. I think it all depends upon what they do this year. If they go win the Super Bowl, I think we all agree that Drew is going to retire. I think Drew is coming back strictly because of the two nasty exits that have happened. Minneapolis Miracle, pass interference. If they win a Super Bowl, let's assume Drew's gone, and there's no way Sean Payton's going to let Teddy Bridgewater leave, especially after Teddy Bridgewater took a team-friendly deal to stick around and be the backup quarterback, which has been massive for them this year going 4-0. In my eyes, Teddy Bridgewater will be a highly sought-after quarterback because if you can get a quarterback that can win, that's obviously somebody you want, and there isn't a lot of them out there, but I think Teddy Bridgewater sticks around with the Saints until Drew Brees is done because I think he's got a lot of years left. I think he's athletic enough. He's made the decision that he's wanted to be in New Orleans. He's done a lot for New Orleans, their team, and in the locker room. He's beloved in there. I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to want to stick around to the Saints. I thought he was going to get in the game a lot earlier last night. I thought he was going to play third quarter. Now, granted, that might have been me hoping that the plus 51 would continue to cover and Drew Brees get the hell off the football field. But think about this if you're Teddy Bridgewater. Let's say the Saints win a Super Bowl. It's going to be a hard road. Hard road. The NFC is going to be very difficult. AFC, whoever they end up playing, is going to be very, very difficult as well. They've already lost to the Niners at home, which isn't good for them in the NFC. But let's say Drew Brees and the Saints win another Super Bowl, right? Drew Brees is done for sure. Is there any other human you would rather have drawing up plays other than Sean Payton if you're a quarterback? That is going to be a place a lot of quarterbacks are going to want to be. And if Teddy Bridgewater is his guy, I think Teddy Bridgewater is very happy to do so. This is almost like McDaniels up in New England, where Josh McDaniels, I think, now I might be wrong, but I think Josh McDaniels, while he was on the plane to Indianapolis to become the head coach, was told, like, hey, as soon as Belichick's done, you'll be the head coach of the Patriots. He turns around and comes back because he knows the ins and outs of the Patriots organization. I think the same thing has happened with Teddy Bridgewater. Whenever he thought about leaving, whenever he decided to stay and become the highest paid backup quarterback without going and starting somewhere else, which he definitely could have done, especially with the bad quarterback play this year, I think he and Peyton potentially had a conversation. It was like, hey, whenever Drew's done here, you'll be our guy. You're going to get paid good. We're going to play you. And then whenever you're done, is there anybody other than me that you would like to draw up plays? Our offense is always good. We could be great together.
Also, would you rather take a massive contract somewhere else and for a team that maybe stinks or stay in New Orleans and have established top-end guys like Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara for the next 10 years?
For me, I always think about this. And I was the person that said that. I thought Andrew Luck was going to do this. How instead of taking this $200, $300 million contract, like, why not just stick around and make your team good and take a little bit less money and build up around you? But I would assume in the face of hundreds of millions of dollars, it's very difficult to take that noble, morally just moral high ground decision. Like, you know what? I'm going to stick around here and make $7 million a year when this team wants to make me $20 million a year, $25 million a year. That's probably very, very difficult to separate generational wealth from relevance, which is a decision we'll never have to make, which is good. But he probably will at some point, and I'll be excited to see how he does.
I believe they said on the broadcast last night that Taysom Hill, Teddy Bridgewater, and Drew Brees are
all
not.
up.
Yeah, because Drew's contract voids in March of next year. So there's definitely going to be a decision there.
Yeah, it has to be. Going to have to be a decision.
If you're Taysom Hill, if they sign Teddy, do you stick with the Saints and be a utility player because you know that Sean Payton can use you well, or do you actually try to go get
You try and go get money.
job?
He's how old is he? 29.
Yeah, because he was
Taysom. He's like 30-something.
Yeah, his body does not have a lot of time left to play in this league. So you get as much money as you can. As quick
Yeah,
as
but
possible.
Taysom, has he proven that he could be a starting quarterback?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to pay him to be a starting quarterback.
I think they're going to look at the Ravens' offense and be like,
Oh,
maybe we could do that with him.
Taysom Hill could be a Lamar Jackson. Now, granted, he's not as fast as Lamar. Let's assume he's not. I don't know, actually. Yeah, he's not as fast as Lamar. Lamar's the fastest guy every field has ever walked on. I can't believe I even took that back there for a second.
I think he's the best gadget player of all time. Taysom Hill.
Have you ever heard of Cordell Stewart?
Come on, pal.
Have you ever heard of Cordell Stewart?
Slash
pal.
Hey, Taysom could be fun in New England, though.
Could be great. Perfect fit. Use him as an H-back. We need a tight end to start.
Oh, so you're not going to play him as quarterback. You're going to pay him as an H-back? You think that is something that'll be
Get
better?
him out there running routes. You see that corner route he ran last night? He looked beautiful.
You think he would rather
Chris Cooley position?
Yeah.
You think he'd rather go do that than be the weapon he is for the Saints right now?
I think it's a viable option.
I think if somebody's going to use him as an option quarterback, like the Lamar Jackson, I think he goes and does that because the money potential is massive because you're a quarterback in the NFL. But I think if he's going to be utilized in the same fashion somewhere else, I don't know why you would want to leave Sean Payton.
Right.
Sean Payton makes superstars. That's what Michael Thomas, everybody in the building knows Michael Thomas is going to get the ball, and Sean Payton draws up plays that make Michael Thomas get the ball. I mean, he is a brilliant play caller, play designer, and I think him and Drew Brees have been a hell of a weapon. But I think if you're Taysom Hill, you're not leaving unless you're getting a chance to be a quarterback somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if anybody's going to let him be a quarterback. I have no idea.
I don't think so.
Because they didn't let him be quarterback
starting.
this year.
No.
When Drew Brees was out,
Right.
he was comparing him to Steve Young. He was saying all these things. I thought Taysom Hill was potentially going to be a starting quarterback. Instead, it was Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy goes 4-0. Let's assume that he's – I don't know.
Oh.
If he could be Lamar Jackson somewhere, though, that's big money if you're good.
Yeah.
By the way, Drew breaks another record on primetime television to a
Go ahead, Diggs.
receiver that was wide ass open.
What do you mean?
I mean, I've laid this out before in the past. Every time Drew breaks a record, it's on primetime television. There's not a defender in sight. The NFL, they do a very good job at making things pretty easy for Drew.
Yeah, but I think Saints fans would say on the other side, like, refs treat us the worst.
Oh, for sure.
Refs, and they, by the way, the NFL delayed his record breaking with a terrible call.
Terrible.
A terrible call. I mean, Booger went to bat for it, I guess, where he could see something potentially as a defensive player or whatever. But that was a terrible, terrible call that delayed it to the second half. I mean, I got 4,500 retweets on that thing. A lot of New Orleans feels as if they get screwed on a regular basis from refs, and you can't blame them.
They wanted people to watch the second half.
Well, I think I would like to see the ratings of the TV. I think Indianapolis is probably watching strictly for that plus 51. We might have been the only humans watching that fourth quarter. Like, oh, my God, all right. Who scored a touchdown for the Colts, by the way?
Wilkins.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Ran it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saints Super Bowl, lock it up.
Whoa.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
For all the reasons I just said. They've been screwed the last 2 years. NFL owes them.
You won't hammer it.
You're hammering it right now?
Yep.
You won't. Good snag. Oh my God!
Two-hander. That's on me.
How's the hammer been, by the way?
It was hot
Not
this
great
weekend.
last week
no.
for me.
Music, please.
Nice job.
Packers did cover, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Barely.
Doesn't matter.
Bear.
Does not.
That money's still in my account.
Check don't bounce, Connor. 11:42. We'll get to the phones on the other side of the break. We got Keegan, Cameron. Cameron's in Ohio. Excited to hear what he's got to say. I thought I went to bat for Ohio pretty much this whole year.
You really have.
You're number one.
Huge Browns fan.
What's that, you?
How quickly they forget.
It's good.
Well, memory problem.
Yeah.
You were always a big Browns guy.
Yeah. In on the Browns from the beginning.
I mean, you did say some bad things about the Bengals, but so did everyone in the world because they deserved it.
Yeah, but Joe Burrow's about to go save that. Old Joey
right.
Heisman.
And you love him because he's an Ohio guy.
I actually say the reason why I think he's so good is because he's from Ohio.
Yeah.
It's the old whites.
You like Fickle? Yep.
Love Fickle. Will he be at Cincinnati next year? Give the holiday gift that families across America have loved for over 100 years. Omaha Steaks. Omaha Steaks is America's original butcher, bringing families together since 1917. Order with complete confidence today. Right now, Omaha Steaks is sharing an amazing limited time offer with listeners of this show, and there's still time to place your order for the holidays. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter the code America in the search bar to order the favorite gift package, the gift everyone will love, for only $69.99.
Oh, nice deal.
Order now and you get 4 6-ounce bacon wrapped filet mignon, 4 savory premium pork chops, 4 Omaha Steaks burgers, 4 perfectly brown potatoes au gratin, 4 made from scratch caramel apple tartlets, an Omaha Steaks signature seasoning packet, and for listeners of our show, a free 6-piece cutlery set and a cutting board. All this delicious food, plus the free cutlery set they'll enjoy for years to come for only $69.99. Omaha Steaks are the most tender, the most flavorful, and you can only get steaks of this quality from Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher. Omaha Steaks are guaranteed to be the most tender. Every order is flash frozen, vacuum sealed, safely delivered in a cooler with dry ice, ready to cook. Omaha Steaks also delivers the best burgers, pork, poultry, and more. All orders are backed by an unconditional 100% money back guarantee. Sharing food makes great memories with family and friends. They will love this amazing gift. Again, order now and you can get the favorite gift holiday package plus the free 6-piece cutlery set and cutting board for only $69.99. Just go to omahasteaks.com and type America in the search bar. That's omahasteaks.com. Type America in the search bar. Don't wait. If you want to take advantage of this offer and get your gift there before the holidays are over, go to omahasteaks.com, type America into the search bar to order the gift everyone will love, the favorite gift package today. We got a break. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show.
At some point in their life, 52% of all men will experience erectile dysfunction, but most of them never get treated. Now there's Roman, the digital health clinic for men. With Roman, you can get genuine medication prescribed by a U.S. licensed physician, all from the comfort of your home. If medication is right for you, Roman delivers it with free 2-day shipping and in discreet packaging. Get started with a free online visit today at GetRoman.com/TV. Roman, let's take care of it.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, 11:50 here on the East Coast, 8:50 over there on the West Coast. A lot of people say West Coast, the best coast. Well, right now, while we're staring down the snowstorm, I'd agree that that's probably accurate. Let's go to Matt in Denver. What's going on, pal? Damn it, Matt. Matt's on so many edibles right now. He has no idea that he's even on a radio show. Matt, what are you doing? Matt, if you have anything going on in your life right now, just speak into the microphone, Matt.
I need sugar water.
Oh, hey, sorry, guys. You were super quiet. So sorry about that. Coaching carousel. What do you guys think about McCarthy to the Browns and Dog Pound and Ron Rivera to the Giants?
Okay, I think Mike McCarthy and Ron Rivera are definitely going to get gigs. I assume there's going to be some college coaches that come up. Urban Meyer's name is getting tossed in there. Matt Rule was already on the rise for NFL jobs. I don't know who's going to do what. I assume McCarthy, though, is going to say, hey, the Packers offense is the exact same this year as it was last year. You guys hired this young gun because he had had a cup of coffee with Sean McVay. My offense was just as productive as his. That'll go to bat for him. Ron Rivera, I think, will be able to take any job he wants. A lot of people think he's going to Chicago Bears. Bear down. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm pretty pumped up. And some name's going to pop out of nowhere and get a head coaching gig. We're like, who is this guy? And they're either going to do great or they're going to suck.
Eric Bieniemy. That's the name.
There it is. Who's that?
Chiefs OC.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get a gig. Patrick Mahomes is a head coach creator.
Yeah.
Kind of like the way Peyton Manning's gotten Gase his last 2 gigs. It's like if you touch Patrick Mahomes, you're probably going to get a head coaching gig. If you were hanging out with Sean McVay, he's just at a club or somewhere, you're going to get a head coaching gig. That's just the way it goes. But when you become a head coach, you got to deal with a lot more than just one particular side. Now you got to deal with everything. You got to deal with who we're signing, how we're signing them, punishments, team meetings, scheduling. It's a big deal. You become a CEO every night, overnight, and not everybody's ready for that. I think that's why you see old head coaches get the gigs, because they've already been there, done that. But if you really want to shake it up, you got to go with a young guy and take a risk. Cliff Kingsbury has done a lot better job than I think anybody would think over there at the Arizona Cardinals. I said weeks ago that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be dream breakers come here late in the season. They're going to play a team that has a shot to make it in the playoffs, and they're going to get a big win. I think they have the Rams coming up.
They definitely have the Seahawks.
I think they have the Seahawks and the Rams coming up. Those are 2 very tough teams. Maybe the Rams will hang it up by week 17 because they're out of it, and it's Los Angeles. It's easy to get distracted out there. But they did against the Browns. They took the Browns completely out of the thing. If the Arizona Cardinals can find a defense, which I'm not 100% sure Cliff Kingsbury is known for doing, and he's on the offensive side of the ball, they're going to have to do it. If they can find a good defense that's consistent, that team will be good. Granted, we have a guy who's in that team who's like one of my best friends. I was the best man at his wedding. He's going to be at my wedding. He's the center, AQ Shipley. He really likes that team. Liked that team going into the year. Still likes that team. They're young. They're going to learn. If they can stop somebody, they're going to be good in the future. But Cliff Kingsbury was a hire where everybody was like, what? This dude couldn't even win at Texas Tech. He had Patrick Mahomes. Now he's head coach, and he's doing a lot better. I think it's all just a roll of the dice on whether or not somebody's worth a damn in the NFL. Let's go to Keegan in Costa Mesa, California. Keegan, what's going on, pal?
Hey, Pat. So I've heard your voice concern about Tom Brady maybe leaving the Patriots, possibly coming to my Chargers. But with Phillip out as a player in the organization, I'm thinking maybe wait a year, go to Trevor Lawrence. And I'm just trying to think maybe, or trying to hear what your idea is on the whole situation.
Okay, Keegan, I appreciate you. I do think the Chargers are still in play for Tom Brady. I honestly, we were the first ones that were on that, and it makes the most sense. Other people are starting to report it. I think if Tom Brady and the Patriots, somehow this dynasty ends, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it looks like it could potentially do that because the AFC, there's a lot of weapons that will have to play in the AFC playoffs, and we're not sure the Patriots will be able to keep up, even though N'Keal Harry looks like a guy that they could potentially use in a lot of different ways. He's healthy. Maybe the Patriots going to win another Super Bowl because that's what the Patriots do. But if they don't, Tom Brady's contract is up. Maybe he wants to get out of there, go back to Los Angeles where he trains in the offseason, has a lot of friends in the offseason. The Chargers organization would be very grateful to have him. The NFL would like to have him there. I mean, everything kind of lines up. And if Tom Brady, you have a chance to get Tom Brady as a quarterback, I think you get him as a quarterback. You just make sure your offensive line is good, which is the problem this year in New England.
If Trevor Lawrence plays these next 2 games well and wins another national championship, I think there's going to be some interesting offseason moves from NFL teams, maybe just to put themselves in position to get
you think they're going to try to Dolphins it?
Maybe.
But you got to remember with the Dolphins, you can't sign Fitzpatrick.
Yep. Can't do it.
If you're a team trying to tank, you can't bring in Fitzpatrick because Fitzpatrick, if he gets hot, he might go undefeated for you and might work backwards for you.
Bring in Rosen.
Cameron, sorry we didn't get to you. Eddie, Will, and Nick, we apologize. We'll talk to you manana. What do we talk about today? Anything we miss?
Suggs.
Terrell Suggs was claimed by the Chiefs. He said, you might as well not claim me unless you're the Ravens. Turns out 4 teams did claim him. None of them were the Ravens. Niners, Seahawks, Saints, and Chiefs. The Chiefs won it. If I'm Terrell Suggs, not a bad train to go hop on right now,
Yeah.
T-Sizzle. I'll be excited to see him play in the playoffs. And by the way, at that old age, I might not be as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was. He can make a run in the playoffs and help the Chiefs out a lot. We'll see you manana. This has been the Pat McAfee Show. I hope the next show is better than this one.
Thanks, Dawn.
Did you know over 60% of men experience significant hair loss by age 3?